podcast.
Yeah, the music, interviews, the culture.
Groove Suite.
Let's get into it.
And then we don't forget all the lovely things we plan to do today.
Groove Suite podcast.
What's happening, my people? It's Mr. Al Pete with the MPN Network, the Groove Suite podcast, Groove Suite Mix Show. Thank y'all for hitting play. Listen, we finna get into a good interview with a good brother that I've been following for a great minute. You know, that whole like shooting your shot action, it was cool for me to just kind of be like, hey, I want to interview you because they got the new song out. Tanya Morgan, they had the song out. And I was like, well, let me see if I can get them on the show because I feel like the groovers on the show would definitely love this song. If they haven't heard it yet, you're going to hear it today on this interview. So, yeah, we here. But nevertheless, make sure before we get into it, make sure you follow the MPN Network, which is MPN Management, and the Groove Suite on Instagram. That's where we get busy, share all the dope music and all that great stuff. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring Donwill up in the building. What's happening, good sir?
What's good, man?
Listen, first off, thank you very much for taking the time to sit down and talk with me for a minute about podcasting, music, two of the things that I love. So it's cool to be able to talk to somebody who I've been following with for a minute. So thank you on that, first off. And second off, I have a podcast crew that I hang out with, man. Content creators, a couple of shouts out to them. But one of my homies, Dominic Lawson, he won the Webby Awards. So while we was watching, when I was watching, I saw that you won an award, and I felt like I felt like we had won. When I say we, I mean like just hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just for you being a musician, a hip hop musician, as well as getting into the media space with podcasting and with the show that you do, the Almanac of Rap, I was like, man, this is such a great win. It's such a great win. So congratulations on that, personally, for sure.
Thank you, man. And shout out to your man Dominic. I don't think I know him personally,
Yeah.
but you know, it's dope to win. It's a really dope thing, a dope accolade to have. And like speaking to what you said about you feel like we won. It was I think Jazzy Jeff was there, and you know I know him personally. And when he saw me win, he was like, it was the same thing. He was just like I hate to say the little guy because you know we're all of equal talents and abilities. It's just the light shined on you, but just a dude who's the indie artist shit, man.
Yeah,
is that when you see somebody who you know you can eye level with, it feels different, you know.
Yeah, man. And that was a major stage. That's a major award show, definitely in the podcasting space. So this is and not saying that other awards aren't regal, but this is definitely a regal award. And again, I just like to see hip hop being presented in that manner. So congratulations again on that.
Thank you, man.
So let's speaking on the podcast. First off, I know we're here for the song, the new song, but like the Almanac of Rap, like you're definitely an almanac on it, man. I've listened to every episode. My two favorite are, of course, Fonte. I'm a major fan of Fonte, so I thought that Fonte conversation was great. Anytime Fonte can be able to speak is great, and I think you complimented that conversation very well with that. And then the one with Artistic. So Artistic is from, he's from California, but He went to FAM. He went to FAMU in Tallahassee, Florida, which is 2 hours away from me. And so it's always interesting to see him speak on California, on Florida stuff, being the fact he's from California. And I think you did, well, matter of fact, you did an absolutely great job narrating that show and really just giving us the history of having somebody else give us the history of this and give you your input on it. So those were my two episodes. But tell me about the Almanac of Rap. Like, how did that come about? What made you just say, hey, I'm just going to do it? Yeah.
Well, to speak to the Artistic episode, and this also speaks to like just the show, the ethos of the show in general. a lot of the Almanac of Rap is about me getting expert analysis and opinion. So I don't purport myself to be an expert on things. I purport myself to be somebody who's curious enough to talk to somebody who would know more than me. A lot of times I do know stuff. Like there was an episode where I brought it was either the TikTok episode or the episode about Chicago House. I was talking to somebody about just dance music and dance hip hop. And I'll ask leading questions. I'll know the answer to them, but like the audience just needs to hear someone explain it to them. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. I'll bring a guest on for a reason.
Right.
But with that, yeah, Artistic is just he's such a he knows everything. He's a real almanac, you know what I'm saying? But the show came about, I want to say, the tail end of the stay inside pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like the pandemic never ended, but when everybody was in the house, I got reached. A friend of mine had a show on Sonos. Shout out to DJ Lindsay. She's a fucking dope DJ in Atlanta. She had a show on Sonos called Black is Black. And it's a great show. It was a wonderful show. She reached out to me saying Sonos was looking for other shows, and specifically like not like a mass search, but they were interested in what I would bring. So I kind of just put together a show modeled after what I was doing on my Twitch stream, which is playing music and dissecting it in a different way. So not like, I don't know, not like the Dissect podcast where they're like breaking down the songs and telling you about the decisions they think the artist would have made or bringing the artist in, but like playing Montel Jordan, Get It On Tonight, stopping the record and talking about how this shit is such a creepy record, or playing like an LL Cool J song and like being like, this nigga is a maniac. He's crazy. You hear what he's saying? But so like it was just fun, silly, whimsical analysis of hip hop. And I think that a lot of the hip hop analysis that we get is either super academic, which is great, or it's gossip based, which is what it is. And I wanted to bring something different to the table, which is kind of treating it like pop culture and treating it like fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always about archaeological researchers digging through their crates and figuring out why this sample and this kick drum and talking about sine waves and shit. It's literally just like, yo, Montel, why are you picking up another woman and bring her to the club where you left your girl at? Like, that's weird. You know, like just being silly like that. So the show itself, it comes from just those conversations you have with your friends about bars and witty bars, and not like who's the best rapper or, you know what I'm saying, why is so-and-so whack, but just appreciating who an artist is for who they are, you know?
Gotcha. Y'all did it on the what is it? The comedy hip hop episode?
Yeah.
Man, when I didn't even know Dragnet was. I totally forgot that whole Dragnet reference. But when I heard it, I was like, "Dang, man!" I almost went back to the movie to see what that was about. But I mean, I do love how you bring things. You know, how you have things in the middle, like not like you said, super academia and super like gossipy trash type talk or whatever. So it's cool to be in the middle though. And it's cool though that you know your knowledge too, man. Like, you know your stuff. It's not like you just kind of like facilitate. And I know you saying you bring other people in, but I mean, it takes art to you to bring somebody in that understands that part of the conversation that you're presenting.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm definitely, I'm no slouch. I know my shit, you know what I'm saying? But I like to have conversations with other informed people who may know a little bit more than me or who can challenge the things that I do know in order to bring me to a different understanding of things. So like the comedy and hip hop episode specifically, I wasn't aware of the Tom Hanks Dragnet rap. I wasn't aware of Mel Brooks's Hitler rap. I wasn't aware of a couple of things that Diallo brought up. And in researching them, it was like, oh, you know, like hip hop and the influence of hip hop is so wide that of course you can't know everything, but you can know the shape of things in general. So when he was explaining to me, I was like, of course Dragnet would have a hip hop rap, and of course that would lend itself to Chet Hanks being weird, or of course Mel Brooks would incorporate rapping into like his musical. New York is gonna New York. I'm sorry about that.
Nah, you good. You good.
Yeah. But like it's a really fun show to make, and it's a lot of work, but the work itself is just a reflection of how much I care about the subject.
Yeah.
And it's also one of those things where like I get to find a thread in my mind and illustrate it to people. So like the comedy, I'm trying to think of how the comedy hip hop series even started, but like a different episode is the artistic one. That more or less was because I just dropped the episode today. I wanted to ask somebody who had the better discography, who runs the rap game, not who runs the rap game. I'm trying to frame the question correctly. Who has the better discography, the Bloods or the Crips? Which is a really weird question. It's a silly question, but when you think about it, Snoop is like Snoop. He's an icon, but he's a Crip. Right. You got YG, you got DJ Quick, you got Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, whoever, Bloods. Like, who has the better discography overall? If we're gonna like this question came about around the time of Versus. Like, I was like, that would be a crazy Versus, just like a Blood versus a Crip. And then like when you think about it, that thinking about the question led me back to the Bloods versus Crip Banging on Wax album that came out in the 90s, right on the heels of the gang truce. And digging deeper into that thread, you find out that Jim Brown of blaxploitation and football fame orchestrated the gang truce. And the gang truce happened, I believe, after the Stop the Violence, the LA Stop the Violence song. And like, you just keep, the rabbit hole just gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
Right.
And like the parody rap joint, part of that, I found out where the Rappin' Duke was. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you just end up at these strange places. Oh, I'm sorry. So that's the thing about talking to me is I go on tangents a lot.
No, you good, brother. You good.
My mind is like this. But yeah, so I wanted to ask Artistic about that. And in doing so, I figured I might as well get some musical education too. Like, cause education about the LA scene in general. So we ended up talking about just the history of LA's hip hop scene. We talked about, the difference between Crump and Jerkin, and why Jerkin and Crumpin never didn't have the staying power of, say, Crunk, or, you know what I'm saying? And like,
yeah,
whatever. And he's just like, well, he blew my mind when he explained to me that like DJ Mustard is essentially like the product of Jerk. You know what I'm saying? Like, blew my mind. I never thought about it like that. But
yeah, when he brought that up in the episode, I thought that was very interesting too. It was a good tie-in. Like when he said, well, when they brought up the music, you're a jerk and all this other stuff. So I was thinking about that era of music. Of course, being a DJ, we had to play it from time to time. So like, and I was thinking about it, but then when he tied in the whole Mustard situation, I was like, okay, this makes like total sense. It makes total sense. So it's cool. It was that aha moment when he mentioned Mustard's name for sure.
Yeah, because like so at its root, the podcast is a music discovery podcast. And when Sonos reached out to me, they're an audio company, and they wanted somebody to do like just a radio show where they play music and talk about the music. And me being the type of person that can't just do a thing in its simplest form, I was like, how can I make this extremely hard for myself? I can conduct interviews with people about music and make songs about the interview, make mixes about the interview. So like the first episode I did was with Jean Grey, and we talked about unhinged content. And I was talking about how LL Cool J is a maniac. Like, it's documented. He says he's a maniac. And Gene was just like, well, I say to you, LL Cool J is not unhinged. He's whimsical. I'm actually a maniac. I've killed more people on my records. I've done all these things and no one thinks about it or talks about it. So we talk about that, and we talk about like fun moments like Prodigy saying he'll throw a TV at you.
Yeah.
Prodigy is a man. He was a maniac. He was a maniac.
Yeah.
He was a maniac. I brought Wyatt on to talk about Wyatt Cenac. I call him Wyatt, my homie Wyatt. I brought him on to talk about rap exploitation flicks, which are basically the films that would come in the back. It's like, the back when people were buying CDs and CDs were selling, they started putting DVDs in the CDs, and you could, Kill a Season and I Got the Hookup or Bout It, all that stuff. Like it was like the direct to DVD era. Like before Tubi was Tubi, we had CDs, we had DVDs, and a lot of that stuff lives on Tubi now, which is why I love Tubi. But before that, man, you would just go to the barbershop and do about 3 movies, and one of those movies would be a really bad movie produced poorly by a rapper.
Right. And we watched it like it was nothing else, and it became a classic indirectly.
Yeah, exactly. Because it became a cult classic. It achieved status within the hood. Like, oh, you ain't seen this shit? Like, you got to see this. You know what I'm saying? And it's things don't get that designation anymore because they're not as it's easier to make. It's easier to make like a movie or like an album. You can shoot it on your iPhone, put it on YouTube. Whereas back then, to distribute it, you had to be like, all right, we got to have a budget, enough of a budget to press this up. We'll worry about the actual quality of the film later, but let's just shoot it.
Right.
And then you end up with some crazy movies.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So one more thing before we go into the song, the work ethic. I know before we hit record on this, you mentioned that you was doing these shows bi-weekly. And so the infrastructure of these shows, I would think, setting up the interviews, doing your research, and then doing probably like a second round of research, being the fact you got to grab all the sound clips, et cetera, et cetera. How do you manage to do that? Because you said you was doing this bi-weekly. I honestly thought, I was like, well, he probably lined them up and probably took like a month or so and kind of just recorded each episode. And then we just, every week passed by, episode drop. So explain that process to me.
Okay, so the first season was bi-weekly. And the first season with Sonos that I did with Sonos, shout out to the Sonos team, the people who helped me produce episodes and mixed episodes. Dana Walks, sensational mixer, engineer, live engineer. Shout out to Saida. Shout out to Aisha Palmer. Yeah, the team over at Sonos was great. They kind of gave me a long leash to do whatever I wanted to do as long as it met up to an audio standard. But with that, those episodes were bi-weekly. And the only thing that I wasn't doing in that capacity was the mix and master. Everything else was on me. So the booking, the editing, the writing, the hosting, the researching, all that shit was me. This season, I decided to go weekly. And I'm still doing all the jobs. Plus, I'm mixing and I'm doing the mix too. And I'm doing. I forgot socials and all that stuff. And I'm not as organized. I'm okay. Let me stop. Stop being what's the word for it? Self-deprecating.
Yeah,
I am organized, but I'm also kind of impulsive. So I just one day woke up like, you got to just start season 2. And I started it, and I decided to do it weekly. And I've been doing them pretty much like the day before the episode comes out, I'm uploading it. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Like the episode that just came out didn't exist a week ago. Like I'm making this stuff on the fly. It's a lot, and I wouldn't recommend it. A lot of it is just consequential. You know what I'm saying? Like it's me not having the time to do things ahead of time,
right?
And me wanting to do things my way. So season 3 will absolutely be one in which they'll be canned and they'll be uploaded and they'll be done. In my mind, that's how season 3 is going to go. Because right now, man, this shit it's hectic.
It's hectic, but I can. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel like it's a good little bit of glory for the hecticness. Like I know for me, sometimes I put myself in these hectic situations, and I'm like, well, especially when it comes to like music or like podcasting, definitely when it comes to DJ mixes, I'm like, all right, let me have this organized confusion type of action going on. But it gives me like this energy or whatnot. So I don't know if that's how you feel when you're doing your shows. Like it gives you this type of glory or like accomplishment feeling when you're against the grain like that.
Yeah, the thing for me is that I work best under a deadline. I work best up against like not a self-imposed, if you don't get this done, nothing happens. I work best when it's just like, if you don't get this done, like the money's on the line, or like you might like it has to be something like tangible and real, like at the finish line, in order for me to like really take the thing seriously. So me completing everything ahead of time, I have too much time. Like I need a deadline. And I also, speaking to the reward thing, I get the satisfaction of releasing an album. It feels like making and releasing an album every week. You know what I'm saying? Which in practice sounds insane. But prior to like I put out 2 EPs during the pandemic. I put out a EP called Safe and one called Space, 2 solo EPs that I completely produced, wrote, mixed, and released within a week. Like, so shout out, and the person who taught me that is Jean Grey. Shout out to Jean Grey. But like just giving your full self to a thing, a lot of times you can't. If I have space to walk away from something for too long, I'll stop working on it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm like, I have hundreds of songs in my hard drive that just will never see the light of day because I'm like, I'm tired of working on that, or it's whatever. It's not urgent. It has to feel urgent. And part of creating a sense of urgency for me is having a deadline looming. It's not the healthiest way to work, but it's my way to work.
Yeah.
And until I can find a healthier way to work, it will be my way to work.
I love it.
It's been a fun process, man. Even though it's stressful, even though, I'd stay up sometimes till 2, 3 in the morning for 2 nights in a row. It feels good when it's done.
Yeah, I agree. And you said the one thing that you pulled it out of my brain with that when you said that it's like releasing an album. Like every episode is like releasing an album. And I know for me that I like that challenge of it. I love the challenge of it. So, and the fact that you can do it on your own is like, do it your way is like the best feeling too. So, but great job on the podcast, man. I'm definitely looking forward to the season 3. I mean, all the episodes that's coming up, man. I just appreciate them. So I'm looking forward to season 3. All right. Well, since we're talking about albums, let's get into the new song, Don't Look Up. Now, this is a jam.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. And I got and I don't know why. I don't know if I asked or not when I reached out to you about getting those versions or whatnot, but I do need those versions, like the clean versions, all that stuff. Whenever you get a chance, you can send that pack to me, man, because that definitely is going in my mix shows and all that stuff. And I got other curators. Shouts out to Soul Curators. They make playlists. They do mix shows, all that stuff. So. And we talk about that type of music, and I'm saying that type of music in quotation marks because it's that whole, as everybody else would say, like conscious music, but we really big on that, like grown man music, neo soul, all that, whatever that encompasses. So
like life music, yeah,
life music, absolutely. Because I hopefully it wasn't a disrespect for saying that, but I just know when we talk to other people, we have to identify it like that so people can be like, okay, so you're talking about so-and-so versus this. Yes. So,
well, part of bridging as a bridge between the show and the music, part of the thing that I've been examining this season is genres. Like, what we're kind of hinting at is genres. And I think that for what we make, which is boom bap, you know what I'm saying? Boom bap backpack is, I won't say it's a dirty word, but it's not a marketable term. Like you don't hear a lot of people saying they make boom bap or like they make backpack rap. I mean, I think that West Side Gun says he makes boom bap, which is nice because he's giving a boost to the genre. But a lot of people just have shied away from making boom bap because it's not marketable. It don't chart. You know what I'm saying? And they want to do other shit. But for Don't Look Up and the stuff we're doing with Six Senses, Rubber Souls, I selfishly told Vaughn and Six, like, look, I want to DJ this shit out, man. Like at my DJ gigs, I'm gonna play a lot of funk, I play a lot of soul, I play a lot of disco, I play a lot of boogie. I want to be able to slide a Tanya Morgan jam in there and not have it feel like I got to bump the BPMs up and have us rap it all pitched out and fast. Nah, man, let's just make ready-made songs. So we got like about like that groove, that kind of like upper, like that 100 to 110 BPMs, like fun, funky shit. We got like about 8 or 9, maybe 10 of them. That's kind of the vibe of the new project.
New project. That was one of my questions. Okay, because I listen. I read. I want to say it was Two Dope Boys, and you mentioned like you say you don't know if it was going to be an EP or a song or whatever. You didn't know that, and I thought that was cool that you said that. But now that I got you on record saying project, yes sir.
Yeah. You know. Ever since Kendrick Lamar called an album an EP, what is anything anymore? Nothing has any.
They don't.
Now I'm saying like we're definitely putting out a project. We're just grappling with how to get the full body of work to people.
Yeah.
And what we decided on was to do a series of singles. So, drop a new single every month, and at the end of or whenever we see fit, bundle enough songs to either come as an EP or bundle them as a LP. But I am so I don't care about streaming. And I would care more about streaming if we had a large following and a large audience on streaming. Like, by all means, when I say I don't care about streaming, I'm not telling you not to stream us. Please stream us. Maybe then I'll care.
Yeah.
But, like my thing is more or less like pressing it up on vinyl and selling it, or making tangible art projects that are fun to make. Like, it's not really packaging digital content isn't really fun.
It's limited. I mean, and you can get it out to everybody within a couple of seconds, or people can get it within the 24 hours. But like, and it's funny because I was on a hip hop panel yesterday, and we was talking about technology and all that, and I was saying how, it was a mission, it was a mystique to create something and have it tangible. And we would get the album and play it for like years or revisit it and that type of stuff. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
And the other thing about physical media is that I say this a lot. Like, if you think about how many rap songs or how many songs in general that you know the words to and you can sing along to that you don't like, those songs are probably songs that existed on an album that you bought and you just had to sit through that song because it's easier to sit through it than to fast forward it.
Absolutely.
Like,
yep.
And you don't have to do that anymore. You can skip it. You can like make your own playlist, and the way that you interact with your music is different. Like the song that we're talking about that we released that's out now, Don't Look Up, Spotify, Apple, Tidal, whatever. It is competing with every single other thing in your phone or the computer. Literally. Like, you could be listening to that song and then a text message come through and it's like your job saying you got to come in. You offer that work. You offer that song. You're like, damn, let me text this motherfucker back. Or, you know what I'm saying? You're on Instagram scrolling while you're playing and you're like, it's background music. So the way that we interact with music now isn't I'm in the mood to hear something new. It's there's something new. Let's play it. Like, you don't really interact with music the same. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to make people interact with the media different. And when I say I don't care about streaming, I'm not anti-streaming. I'm just aware that streaming is a billboard. It's not, streaming is marketing, but you know what I'm saying? You got to get people in the door of the store. So if we got a song up on Spotify, cool. If you playlist it, then that's getting you in the door. Like, every platform has their own ecosystem, a way you can engage with the content, but you have to still algorithm. I'm all over the place, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of scattered because my mind
you
moves
good. I'm following, brother. I'm following.
Algorithmic, it's the same thing as if I put up an Instagram post. Is if you follow someone on Instagram, and once you follow them, you'll see their post for a minute, then it stops. If you don't engage with their content, if you don't like their stuff, if you don't if you don't share their stuff, if you don't leave a comment, the algorithm says, oh, you're not interested in this. You just care for a second. It's the same thing with music, because once you post something on Spotify or Tidal or Apple, it's just content. Even though it's a song, it's content. And it's on the listener to share it and engage with it. It's also on the artist to promote it, to be shared and engaged with. And it's a much easier game for me to be like, hey, here's a piece of vinyl. I would love if you bought it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I get it. But you know what? I think Bandcamp is good for that. For me personally, when I go to Bandcamp, I feel like I'm like purposely there to like purchase and get a little bit of more of what the artist is, regardless if I know them or not. So, I mean, that might help. Yeah. I mean, it's still a form of streaming, but still, like Bandcamp for me, like when I got on Bandcamp and saw your song, I was like, okay, well, let me buy it. You know what I'm saying? And then I felt more attached to it. But I understand. I see what you're saying about the whole other streamings. We're not against it, but it feels good to have somewhat of a tangible type of, you know, at least I got an email saying that I could download your song versus.
Yeah, like I think that Bandcamp, for what it's worth, engaging with stuff on Bandcamp is different. Like it exists outside of the larger streaming ecosystem. Like the Bandcamp plays don't count towards streams, I don't think. I could be making that up, but
no, like it counts to you.
yeah, it counts to me. It's definitely a barometer to me. But like the thing about Bandcamp is that the audience that goes to Bandcamp is a different audience. Like if you put up a post like I have a new song out, here's a Bandcamp link, here's a Spotify link. The people that choose whatever, like it's just two different audiences. It's like a person that wants to get a hamburger. Like, are they going to cook it at home or are they going to buy it ready made? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are they going to buy the meat from? Like, it's that level of granular analysis for your audience. But all that tech marketing, like internet analytical shit aside, we made a jam. We got a bunch of jams. This is one of those songs, man. Like it's fun. And even though, you know, the content of the song, the lyrical content of the song is a little bit about, you know, we recorded this like maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago.
Okay.
We recorded a lot of this stuff a while ago, but you know, shout out to my guy 6 Cents. He fully produces. So like, you know, he'll bring in like live bass and the mixes. He makes sure everything sounds great. So it's not like it's harder to get stuff out fast when we work on stuff like this because it's a slower process. It takes more time to cook, but it tastes better when it's out. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you say you got more records like this, right?
Yeah, we got a joint. The next one coming up. The next one coming out is a joint called Move, featuring. This is exclusive. A joint called Move featuring my guy Mathian from. I believe he's based in DC. Got him on vocals and got him on like doing some bass and some guitar shit. The last joint, Don't Look Up, features Mia J, a really dope vocalist. We got a joint featuring my brother Nicholas Ryan Gant, really dope dude. We got a joint, featuring my guy Rob Cave, a dope lyricist, legendary MC. We got a couple more features that are pending, like, you know, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm shouting out the ones that are like tangible and actual and ready, as opposed to the ones that are theoretical. Right. But you know, it's fun, man. We're having fun with it. Like, you know, we're making sure that we're not getting bogged down in the vanity metrics, the analytics, the how do we whatever. At the end of the day, we just been in a group chat talking, sharing memes, laughing. 6 just had a baby. Shout out to Lil Julian, aka Juju, as I call it.
Congratulations, yeah.
And Vaughn is living in a covert. Vaughn is somewhere down south. I don't want to say where he lives because he gets mad when I tell people where he lives. But Vaughn is in the south, you know what I'm saying? If you see him, tell him I said what up. No, you tell him you said what up, not me. I talked to him. But yeah, man. So we're just the extension. This music is the extension of brotherhood. we're just having a good time, man. We're happy. We're all in good places. Things are good. So we're just making music that feels as good as we feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Don't Look Up, that's what I get from it. It definitely it seems like a, a conversation, or like, okay, well, this is the realistic aspect of like what life could be, but it's like, I'm getting pulled back in this other way. And I'm like, all right, let me stay focused. Let me keep abreast of the things. Am I kind of correct on that, or?
Yeah, I think based on this conversation, you can kind of tell that I'm the type of person that when I get involved in something, I'm fully immersed and my blinders are on. So there's a bar about like, I ain't trying to do shit, nothing. Stay at home, sit at home and just sit. Might take a little walk, grab a coffee. That's it. Six and Von P had to put me back in because I literally, like, I'll make an album in a week, then I just won't think about rap for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I get so far out from it that I wonder, am I still in it? And that's what that line Six and Von P had to put me back in. Like, it's hard to do everything all at once seamlessly. So sometimes for me, when I'm in podcast mode, working on podcasts, I'm not rapping. When I'm in DJ mode, doing DJ gigs a lot, I'm not really rapping. But when I'm in rap mode rapping, I'm tearing motherfuckers' heads off.
You locked in. Yeah, you locked in.
Out.
Yeah.
It's so bars like that, they're just like, and I wrote that song like right when I had moved into this new place that I'm in. So, I'm talking about like my kicks being a little old, my hoodie ain't brand new, but I just bought a brand new couch. You know what I'm saying? Shit is great. Like, it's a choice. I could either spend $300 on these shoes or $2,000 on this couch, and that's where we're at. But I'm back on buying shoes, so I might have to change that bar up when I perform it. But that's the other thing too, is thinking about performances. Like the relationship, we're trying to figure out when to perform, where to perform, how to perform. You know what I'm saying? But in trying to figure those things out, we're also just having fun, man. Like, not letting those conversations or those concerns affect the fact that we're just dope rappers who want to make some music,
Indeed. I love it, man. And I appreciate it, from a fan for sure. Cause I mean, just from day one, from hearing Tanya Morgan, Donwill, like, Von P, hearing y'all, man, it was just like, I put y'all in that, I want to say, for like a better phrase, put y'all in that category of life music. Like, I have this bubble of life music that I listen to. So it's cool to hear the new Tanya Morgan joint, because I'm like, yeah, and it was a up tempo joint too. I immediately thought about when I DJ. I'm like, yeah, I can slide this in, like you said, you can slide into some funk. Like, I love playing funk, soul, all that stuff, man. I just love when people just really get busy at bars and I'm able to like facilitate that. So to be able to slide something in that I actually love and like listen to outside of me DJing. It's a whole tribe that I have. The Groovers. I have a lot of people that listen to this as well. Yeah, the Groovers,
like,
man.
Honestly, it works. Like, I put it in the middle of sets, like those kind of sets where you need like a bridge to get to hip hop or a bridge to get out of a hip hop. Like, it works because it does the thing that you need to do without being jarring to the audience. Like, what is happening? What is this nigga doing? Like, it just. By the time they realize what it is, they groove into it anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's always the challenge with certain kinds of hip hop, life music hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take offense to it being called life music, or as long as just don't call the shit whack. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
If you do think it's whack, don't talk about it. Talk about some shit you think is dope. That's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? I don't really do too much talking about things I'm not appreciative of or things I don't enjoy. And I feel like more people should do that. But with that being said, the song, I'm going to send it to you right after we get off this joint, man. I can't wait for you to start sliding into some sets and send it to some other cats.
Listen, I got 3 gigs this weekend, so it's going to get slid into there, man, straight up. So Matter of fact, I'll do you a solid. I'll record video. I'm actually going to Cancun tomorrow to do a wedding. So I'll definitely slide in. I get some video and send it to you, man. So hopefully you can use it for
man.
promo or just to look at it and be like, man, my damn music in Cancun. So whatever.
I will absolutely repost, whatever post that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So last thing, I like to kind of be fun with it. Got one question for you real quick. But before that, please go stream Don't Look Up, y'all. Please go hit it, look it up. Actually go to Bandcamp and buy it. That's my preference, but if you want to do Apple, Spotify, etc., that's fine. But as long as you can buy it
in the Apple Store too. They sell music whatever you do it.
Please, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I have these cards. They're called pod decks. I go between those and like the griot. I have the griot blackest question. Shouts out to Panama Jackson. I follow him. But I like to pull a random question, and ask it, and then you can answer it. So, I'll ask this question. I pulled 3 cards. So it says, if you were a bartender, which famous person would you like to serve?
Would serving them, does that mean I get to like talk to them and chop it up with them casually, or like what I get to?
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, I'm thinking this person is kind of sitting at the bar, probably taking a break or kind of winding down or whatever. So you know how you go to a bar and you and the bartender be having a conversation, that.
Yeah. I think that the person I would like to serve would be Tracy Ellis Ross.
Okay.
And I say that because, one, she is gorgeous, and I would love to just look at her.
Definitely eye candy.
2, I think that either her or Issa Rae. But again, both of them gorgeous. But also, I think both of them probably. Well, one, when I say Tracy Ellis Ross, she is fascinating, and I think that we don't really get to. I would love to have like a candid conversation with her, or see how she, like Diana Ross might pop into the bar and shit. She might pick up the phone and Diana Ross is on the phone and she's like, "Yeah, mom," like nigga, like, Tracy Ellis Ross is the one, and Issa Rae is the other one, mainly because Issa Rae she's built a cottage industry around herself that is powerful. She's just being able to like be around her and see what she's been up to would be fascinating.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some good choices, brother. Good choices. All right, so we are at the end. Like I don't want to keep my man's long on here, but listen, I appreciate you, Donwill. I appreciate all the contributions that you give to hip hop. From a hip hop lover. I mean, I'm a musician as well and all that stuff, blah blah blah. But like from a fan, I just appreciate you and your contributions to hip hop and just to the music world in general. And congratulations again on that award. I'm sending you more blessings on getting more awards.
Thank you.
And that's what it is. So let the people know where they can find you at.
Listen, I'm on everything as Donwill, DONWILL, all one word, no space. Everything. Instagram, Twitter, X, Venmo, Substack, my website. Everything is Donwill. If you type it in Google, you'll find me. And Almanac of Rap is out now. The 2nd season is wrapping up. 3rd season coming soon. And if you're ever in Brooklyn, stop by Littlefield in Brooklyn on Monday nights. I DJ a comedy show, and I'm there every Monday.
Okay. Word. All right. Well, don't hang up real quick. I'm going to close out. But so my people, thank you so much for hitting play on this. Hopefully you got some gems. Please go check out Tanya Morgan's Don't Look Up. Go check out Donwill's, all his stuff. Go to his website, follow him on Twitter, everything, all the things. And make sure you follow us as well, The Groove Suite, TheGrooveSuite, and MPN Management. Until then, y'all be good, great, to the top.
The Groove Suite podcast has been brought to you by Mr. Penis's Neighborhood and The Groove Suite. Make sure you stay in tune with us on our socials, on Instagram and Twitter, at The Groove Suite, and on Facebook, The Groove Suite Podcast. If you want to email us some music, tell us that you like us, email us at groovesweetjacks@gmail.com. New things, new vibe, new soul, all that. Thank you to everybody who supports us, rock with us, and vibe with us. The Groove Suite.